Hi everyone, my name is Jeanette Purdy. Thank you so much for letting me speak to you today and inviting me to this. So I'm ready. I have some questions and we'll jump right in. I guess a little bit about us. We're a 25-year-old company, design importer, distributor. We do gift items as well as lighting, and I think we'll focus on lighting today. That's why we're here to speak. And light's good. And I've got the perfect first question, which is, what are the common goals that our products share? Well, I'm going to say the obvious, which is that AMEICO's products all need to be functional, and so lighting being is definitely functional, but does it do its job right? So we ask that question. We ask whether it's well crafted, if it's going to last a long time, if it's aesthetically pleasing, if the light is warm, and that characteristic's probably one of the key things we look for. Is it intimate? And I think lighting has a lot to do with bringing space, defining space, so it's really important to have the right mood. And besides that, I think that's where design and our brands will differ. But even though things come from different traditions, companies have different materials that they prefer to use, good lighting is something we all want to live with. So I think, I hope that you'll find that we've chosen correctly. All right, I've got a question about a contemporary question. It's about what the coolest, most interesting, weirdest thing or trend that's happened in kitchen and bath recently. And I know there's we've all spent a lot of time in our kitchens this year, and I think we've come to realize that since we live there, it's our space. We express ourselves in that space. And we also know that people can see us through that space. And so there needs to be a focal point in kitchens, I think, is what it's come down to. People's kitchens are often defined by a certain object or a certain shape, color, and lighting can accomplish that. So I do feel that that's one of the interesting things, that we're not looking at a sterile kitchen as much as a sterile kitchen, something that a pandemic could say predispose us to have. We still are looking for that warmth and that place where a family can live. I also think, because we've been renovating quite a lot this year, that we are looking at renovating smartly to do something that will last and not be torn out in 5 or 10 years. So I do feel that making the right choices is important. I think that better materials is important. And so it's not necessarily about price. It's sometimes more about good value. I'm going to say, because we're on Zoom a lot, that we also are conscious of lighting that's not complementary to our faces. And so different kinds of lights that have the ability to modulate, that don't have glare, that are soft enough and yet bright enough for us to work in. I think those are all really important when you look at the functionality of a light. All right. Oops. How does sustainability come into play with our brands and our products and the manufacturing process? I think in general, sustainability is the only way forward. I think it's also been, for good design, the way that it's been done. Good design doesn't look to be replaced. So we're looking for always the best possible way to produce something. And when you have the best possible option, then you'll live with it. And then it's not a wasted object, right? So when we choose our brands, we choose them to make the best product in a category. Best materials, best construction, the finishing that will last, products that will age well as well. So those are probably the factors that create the most sustainable things. Of course, there are decisions on practices, and we do trust our brands to do that. And our brands, many of them are, I think all of them care enough to look at their processes. We like and prefer the ones who have their own factories that produce closest to where they are. I think the controls are the best there. And I think now might be a really good time for me to introduce some of these brands by name, because I've been talking about them. But Original BTC is out of England, and they own their factories. They own all of their factories. They have metal, glass, porcelain, as well as a nautical outfitter. So they have the know-how and the expertise with different materials. All their factories are within an hour's drive of them, and they are adept. They're adept, and they do the best they can. So with the materials, I'm just going to show you an example just to illustrate. This is a little outdoor light that they make, and the material is gunmetal. Used to be used in ships because they own a ship's outfitter, which Original BTC purchased and saved from going out of business. This light is one of the best outdoor lights that you could purchase because it's going to outlast you, and it's sustainable. It's sustainable because of that. Another example, I don't know if you can see this. It's made by also an English company called Beam, and the light is this, which is a bulb. It's portable, usable, repurposable component, and that's the one that you can take with you when you move. That's sustainability. And maybe I'll have a chance to introduce to you another brand, maybe with the next question. What permanent changes, if any, do you think the pandemic has provoked in kitchen and bath design? I think I've already touched on a lot of these, but warmth, place to gather, thoughtfulness, maybe thoughtfulness of design, flow, because more than one person is going to be using that space. I think those are all really important things, and I believe as well, if you like to be in a space, you're going to put things in it that matter to you. So I also feel that lighting is going to be really carefully chosen in the kitchen now. I think what I'm going to do now is just share with you and Tradition, which has one of my favorite lights in it, the Werner Panton flower pot. And flower pot's made of two metal spheres, one that's bigger than the other, the little one being the diffuser to hide the bulb. So the flower pot, here's an example of it right here, comes in 3 sizes and many different colors, finishes. So that's a favorite in the kitchen because it's a pop of color. It's a very definite shape. It's it defines that space. It becomes that focal point, and I think it can do a lot to a space or a space that you renovate. And I don't know if I have time for one more. What do you think the most important thing a designer needs to know when specifying our product? I would like all of you to feel confident in coming to us, to know that you will be getting a light that is of good design foundation, and therefore won't be something that will disappear with the next trend, that your clients will like it and want to live with it. Now, one of the brands we represent, just to give you a story, is called the Clint. And the Clint's been around since the 40s. And they make lights with these interesting folded shades, both lamp foil as well as paper. And these shades, over 50 years, might get a little brittle, and people call us to get them changed. But people call us because they still have these lights and they still want to use them. And that's what I mean by sustainable, and that's what I mean by having the confidence to specify one of our lights, is that these things are going to be around for many, many, many years. People are going to love them. Another one is AMEICO, brand that's been around since 1919, and essentially they have their own tooling from that era, and their components are made in-house, and they're built to last. So those are the things, and built to last is probably the last thought I want to leave you with, and hope that you enjoyed this little talk. And we'll, what I'd like to do is go into more specific lighting presentation, and I'll do that in one of the live sessions, and I hope you'll join me in for a quick half hour. All right, but feel free to reach out. It'd be lovely to speak to you. We're definitely available, and we can support. Thanks.